Thank you guys for having me. Make it started here. Get my notes here ready. It's an interesting time to be an NFL reporter these days. For instance, I'm looking over and I happened to look up an NFL Live on ESPN, and I couldn't really tell what they were talking about, but by the body language, I had an idea. They were talking about what's going on with the national anthem. And I'm not going to get into what's right, what's wrong, what side I'm on, but I just wanted to share an experience because after that game Sunday, first win of the season for the Saints, their best game they played all year, the post-game atmosphere was as different as I've ever seen in the 9 years covering the team. I've been around some very good wins, some very bad losses, but this was just different. And it really goes to kind of show just what's happening with this issue. I guess they've been together 11, 12 years, and the years I've been around, I have never heard Drew Brees and Sean Payton such a contrasting tone between the two based on the national anthem, with the 10 players obviously demonstrating on the Saints. I'd be very curious to see how they are able to kind of blend that together and go forward with this becoming obviously a huge issue, not just with the NFL, but obviously around this country. I don't want to bore you guys that too much. I wanted to get more into the Saints. I know it's why you're here, but well, the week-to-week life of the NFL is a very real thing. Saints played much better. Obviously, Sunday in Carolina. The Panthers were banged up. I think we all saw Greg Olsen, him not being there was a huge factor for the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton was just not the same player. They had no Ryan Khalil, their center. The Saints pass rush was able to take advantage of that. They rotated a lot along the defensive line. They were obviously able to play their best game of the season. Offensively, I thought the key was third down conversion. They were 6 of 12. They've struggled with that. When you get those third downs, as your coaches know, you get that fresh set of plays, you're able to get into a little more rhythm offensively. So third down I thought was the key offensively, and Drew Brees obviously was just on point. They were able to run the ball. And that offensive line has been shifted around a little bit. I think they came to play and they played pretty well. The Panthers defense, they were number one going into the Saints game, but they looked like number one defense on Sunday. I think it goes to show Drew Brees is clearly a cut above Brian Hoyer and Tyrod Taylor, the two quarterbacks that they played beforehand. Good news for the Saints is they're going to get healthy soon. Armstead and Street will return. Marshawn Lattimore, who had a great game against the Patriots, will hopefully return soon as well. I know there's some positive momentum inside the locker room right now just in terms because they won, but and the Dolphins are indeed a beatable team when they go to London and play Sunday morning, but I would just caution the Dolphins likely view the Saints as a team they could possibly beat as well. So I think it's still to be determined with this team, but if they can get to 2-2, then their season will be in much better shape going into the bye week, coming out, hopefully getting some guys healthier, and then playing, which is a pretty, it'll be a tough schedule, but one hopefully they can manage. But the key obviously is getting to 2-2, because as we've seen in the first quarter of the season, and they're 1-3 or worse, normally doesn't turn out too well for the Saints for this entire season. So the key is getting a win in London, which can be done. I'm a little bit concerned because the Miami receiving corps is very good, and the Saints DBs have had some issues at times, but they played well last week. So at this time, I'll take any questions you have about the Saints. Just fire away, whichever you have. They're 1-2 right now, and so right now the vibe is good in the locker room. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. The running back situation, I think, is interesting. First off, we saw what happened in week 1. They got a little overblown. Adrian Peterson is never going to lead the team in snaps unless he's on one of those games where he's on fire. I think Sean Payton has kind of figured it out. Mark Ingram is the top back on the team. He's going to get the majority of the rushes, as he should. I think you saw Kamara's skill set, able to catch the ball in the backfield, was able to get outside on a few runs, especially on that touchdown run. And Adrian Peterson is kind of a change of pace guy, a short yardage type guy. They're still kind of figuring this out, but I think winning solves a lot of that. If you win and the snap distribution is what it is, it's okay. But if you're losing, they weren't even competitive the first 2 games of the season. The second half of both of those games, they weren't even competitive. So that's when you start to see a little bit of that friction. But for right now, as long as you win, it'll be fine. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, there's more of it around than you thought. I was looking at it. You gotta go to a decent convention center. Unfortunately, they gave me a apartment complex.
That's, well, let me just say, we got a lot of response after that game from our final play app. If you don't have it, download it, please. That was pretty much in line with what you just said. So there's a lot of anger based on that issue. I guess if you're a fan, if you feel like watching, you feel like showing up, that's your right. So. Teron Armstead and Zach Street, yes, they should be back at some point after the bye week. Teron Armstead's case, they would have put him on PUP if it would have been past 6 weeks, so we're getting closer to that mark. Good point. Willie Snead as well, who I think we saw in the first 2 games, was a huge factor today, or excuse me, Sunday. He'll play, and I think he'll do well with Breeze.
Are you going to London? Will there be normal press coverage there?
Sorry, can you say that?
Are you going to London yourself? Will there be the normal press coverage there?
Our Fox 8 coverage begins tonight. I'm obviously not going to be there. I'll be in studio anchoring. Juan Kincaid and Garland Gillen, and our photographer Edwin Gu will be there. Anything else? Anybody else? All right. Thank you guys for having me.